What if I told you there's a single habit, one you probably consider normal, even harmless, that's silently draining your energy, killing your confidence, and keeping you stuck in a life that doesn't feel like your own? You wake up feeling tired, even after 8 hours of sleep. You can't explain why you lack motivation. You're distracted, unfocused. Your ambition feels dulled, like a sword that's lost its edge. And deep down, you sense something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Let me be direct. This habit is robbing you of your masculinity. It's stealing your drive, your presence, and your power. And worse, it's making you feel like less of a man while convincing you that everything is fine. But it's not fine. This is the modern man's silent crisis, one almost no one talks about. But today we will. Because once you hear what I'm about to tell you, you'll never look at this habit the same way again. You'll understand how it's been holding you back, and more importantly, how to break free from it. Let's talk about self-control, masculinity, and the trap of modern pleasure. The hidden enemy, pleasure without purpose. We live in a world that worships instant gratification. With one click, one tap, one swipe, you can access anything. Entertainment, attention, escape, pleasure. And while technology has advanced, something inside us has regressed. We become more connected, but less focused. Surrounded by comfort, yet hungry for meaning. More stimulated than ever, yet strangely numb. That's because we've been seduced by the easy path. And the most dangerous part? We call it normal. One of the most common ways this plays out in modern men is through a deeply private, often unspoken habit. You know what I'm talking about. That dopamine-fueled escape behind closed doors. That temporary rush that leaves you feeling drained, weak, and unsatisfied. Let's be brutally honest. It's not harmless. It's not helping you relax. It's not helping you cope. It's not some healthy outlet. It's robbing you of your life force, your edge, your hunger, the very essence of your masculine drive. You feel the effects whether you admit it or not. The guilt afterward, the lack of motivation, the numbness that creeps in, the shame you can't quite name. Why? Because your brain is being hijacked. Science proves that every time you engage in this habit, your brain gets flooded with dopamine, the chemical of pleasure. But here's the catch. The more often this happens, the more your brain adapts. It raises the threshold. What once satisfied you now feels dull. So you go back for more, and more, and more. Soon, you've trained your mind to seek cheap, easy reward instead of meaningful achievement. You rewired your brain to avoid challenge and chase comfort, to feel satisfied without actually accomplishing anything. And that right there is the death of masculine purpose. The Stoics saw this coming. Long before neuroscience explained dopamine addiction, the Stoics already knew what it did to the soul. Seneca once wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, warned against being ruled by passions. He believed that the man who cannot govern himself will never be truly free. To the Stoics, pleasure wasn't evil, but being controlled by it was. They believed that true happiness came not from indulgence, but from virtue, from strength, from living in alignment with one's highest self. And they knew that the more a man chases pleasure, the weaker he becomes. Why? Because pleasure makes you passive. It weakens your will. It tempts you to avoid effort. It whispers to you, you've already arrived, when in reality, you've done nothing. You haven't built. You haven't created. You haven't conquered. You've only consumed. The modern masculinity crisis. Look around today and you'll see it everywhere. Men with no mission, no fire, no clarity. Men addicted to quick fixes, cheap stimulation, and artificial highs. They chase status but feel empty. They scroll endlessly but feel stuck. They indulge in private but suffer in silence. We've lost our hunger, our edge, our sense of internal power. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay this way. Because once you identify the enemy and make the choice to fight, you begin to wake up. And that's where real transformation begins. The way out. Stoic strategy for mastery. Breaking free starts with understanding the Stoic path. Not of repression, but of transmutation. Not of guilt, but of growth. The Stoics didn't shame desire. They transformed it into discipline. Here's how. 1. Self-discipline, the gateway to freedom. Epictetus said it best. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Your desires, you can control them. And every time you do, you become stronger. Discipline isn't punishment. It's power. It's saying, I choose mastery over momentary relief. When you say no to the urge, you say yes to your higher self. You train your will. You prove to yourself that you are in charge, not your impulses. And with each small act of self-control, your confidence grows. Your energy returns. Your mind sharpens. You begin to feel like a man again. 2. Purpose, the antidote to indulgence. The Stoics believe that a man without purpose is a man at the mercy of distraction. Why do so many men fall into this cycle? Because they have nothing greater to live for. They have time but no mission, energy but no aim, potential but no pursuit. But when you find your purpose, when you align your life with something meaningful, everything changes. You don't have time for escapism. You're too busy building, too committed to growth, too focused on legacy. This is why purpose isn't optional. It's vital. Your energy must go somewhere. If you don't direct it toward greatness, it will leak into weakness. 3. Transmutation, from urge to power. The ancient Stoics and later thinkers like Tesla and Napoleon Hill understood this well. Sexual energy is not just physical. It's creative. It's spiritual. It's fuel. And when that fuel is wasted, so is your potential. But when it's redirected, channeled into creation, building, leadership, art, impact, it becomes a superpower. This is what the Stoics practiced. Turning instinct into excellence. Turning fire into focus. Turning temptation into transformation. They knew that a man who controls his energy can move mountains. A man who dissipates it, he struggles to get out of bed. The transformation, what happens when you quit? Now imagine this. You wake up with energy that lasts. You walk with confidence, not because someone validated you, but because you validate yourself. Your mind is clear. Your vision is sharp. Your motivation is real. You're not chasing distractions. You're chasing greatness. You're not numbing yourself. You're becoming yourself. Your testosterone levels rise. Your emotional stability increases. Your drive returns like a tidal wave. This is what happens when you quit. This is what happens when you reclaim your power. The world changes, but only because you change first. This is what the Stoics called freedom. Not external, but internal. Not comfort, but control. Not pleasure, but power.